Time to go inverted. After that, we will be able to go full blast, full heat. It feels more substantial. It felt a little loose before. Beautiful. Okay, let's get the last one. Oh, I sat on something. That's a nice solid thud. Weird things happen at 5:30 in the morning. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Zak Does It. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. It's so great to have you. We are in the middle of a complete teardown and restoration of my 1991 Mazda Miata's interior, and I encourage you to check out some of the videos linked below in the description, and you'll be caught up with everything we've done so far in no time. For everyone else who's joining us again, welcome back. Can you believe how close we are to putting Mama Miata back on the road? It's so incredible we've made it this far. In today's episode, we're going to pick up where we left off last time, trying to get the car started so we can test the cooling system and make sure that there are no leaks in any of the hoses, especially around the heater core. And to do that, we're going to start with the dash. The wiring harness itself, I believe, is what's necessary to make all the necessary connections so that the key will turn the ignition on and actually start Mama Miata. So we're going to kick it off with that, and we'll see what else Past Zak has in store for us today. All right, we are almost there. And in fact, we're so close to being there that I guess it makes sense just to do things the right way, the whole way, the complete way. So I will go ahead and reinstall the heater control unit. We'll get all the wires hooked up. We'll get each of these attached to the right control surfaces. And after that, we will be able to go full blast, full heat, hopefully turn the car over and make sure that there are no leaks. Hopefully there are no leaks. We'll just leave it at that. Time to go inverted. You know, this isn't half bad. With the soundproofing and that extra thick padding, this is pretty comfortable. Let's see, that should be this vent. Oh, beautiful. That's a nice solid thud. And that should be temperature control. If I move the right one. feels so nice. And actually, it feels, maybe not more resistance, but it feels more substantial. It felt a little loose before. Beautiful. Okay, let's get the last one. Oh, I sat on something. And that is secure. So, with any luck, ow. With any luck, the vent selector will work. All right, and probably should have plugged these in before. Would have made my life a little bit easier.
How's it working?
Good. I've got potentially one wire that I didn't connect, and it's for the fan speed. So, but we can actually test the accessory. We can see if. You see, the Miata was equipped with a very annoying buzzer. Like, a really, really annoying buzzer if you've never heard it. I plugged in the buzzer by accident. I forgot. So I know the battery's working, but I want to get the blower fan hooked up here real quick, and then should be able to turn it over. Well, good morning. In case you couldn't tell, it is the next day. I actually robbed y'all of seeing me start her up for the first time. I apologize for that. I was really just trying to troubleshoot a bunch of different issues. You know, I forgot to plug in one of the outlets for the blower housing. There were a couple disconnected wires under the dash that I had missed. A handful of other things weren't working, and I was just trying to get things running. And it started up, it was great, but I stole that from you, so I apologize. I was able to mostly top off the coolant. Ran her for a few minutes to try to get as much air out of the system as I could, but realistically I've got a little bit more work to do. There's still some air in the system. I did notice a fair amount of black smoke, or gray smoke, white smoke, whatever color you want to call it. It looks to be oil, so I don't know if leaving her sit for about 2.5 weeks in freezing or sub-freezing temperatures has exacerbated any kind of problems mechanically in there, but hopefully it wasn't too bad. Hopefully it's just a product of the cold and, you know, oil not being up to temperature, but who knows? They were using a heavier winter weight oil for, you know, some reason, so maybe it has bad seals, or maybe the valves, you know, need to be cleaned, or something. Something is letting a little bit of oil go into the engine and burn off, so we'll have to figure out what's causing that, but hopefully that's something we can check out while we're doing the rest of the mechanical check that we had to put on pause because we couldn't drive her to get the engine fluid and all the other stuff up to temperature. So we've got a couple hours before my workday starts. It is the ass crack of dawn. It's like 5:30, so I've got to make sure I get as much done now as possible so that I can get my workday started, do all that, come back tonight, wrap up anything else, but I'm gonna see how much trim I can get put back in. I'm gonna try to get the steering wheel and the airbag back in. Gotta make sure I disconnect the battery before I do that. Very important. I don't want the airbag to explode in my face. I might even be able to get maybe the rain sill in, the glove box. Definitely not going to do the center console just yet. I made the mistake of taking the shifter turret apart, and I did not like what I saw. All the seals were broken, the upper and the lower, and the inside of the turret was pretty dry. I couldn't tell if it had just run dry or if someone had replaced the trans fluid with grease, which is actually recommended on the forums. People have recommended using grease instead of the trans fluid. It's less messy, you know, it doesn't drip all over the place, but I've got to figure that out. I did order a rebuild kit from Miata, so that'll be coming in around Wednesday, and we'll do the replacement then, but for now we're going to focus on as much of the plastic stuff as we possibly can. We'll try to get things back together, so I'm going to hop to it. I've already done this 3 times, but weird things happen at 5:30 in the morning. Let's put this back together. What a day. I know, I totally robbed you of one of the most integral project car experiences. Starting your car for the first time after taking it apart. And lesson learned, I promise to bring you with me on the next one. To recap where we are though, we've installed the soundproofing and the carpet. We connected the cooling system to the HVAC system and installed all of that. We have the dash and the instrument cluster installed. And to wrap things up, we were able to start Mama Miata and there were no leaks. So we're starting off really good for the rest of the reassembly phase. Over the next few episodes, we will continue on that path of reassembly, and we will start to put things like the soft top in, and the center console, and oh, there's that shifter turret that we mentioned earlier. That's going to get rebuilt as well. So there's still plenty more left before Mama Miata gets back on the road, but we're sure putting a dent in all the work. Speaking of paths, I'm currently on the path to 100 subscribers, and if you've enjoyed the content so far, or if you like the idea of all the projects we've got going on and the things that are still to come, well, consider subscribing. Doing so will keep you up to date and in the loop with each new episode as it launches. But that's it for me for this week, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.